It's gonna be a long week, lads. Aye, my hearties, and welcome to I've really run out of ways to intro this series. Welcome back to yet another installment of Football This Week, the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer online and on social media during the course of the week. Now, if I just consult my notes for a second, there's still no football. I've seen less things cancelled on the Keemstar YouTube channel than I have in football this week. Though in fairness, that is pretty rich coming from me. Have you noticed everything started to go wrong when that guy asked for Kaka to cut it back on 5-a-side? Football is most certainly on the ropes. It was really only a matter of time before someone created human Sabutio. But football really is over in France. Ligue 1 and 2 have been cancelled. All of the games that were meant to happen before the end of the season are no longer going to occur. France surrendering in defeat already. Where have we heard that before? How's Mbappe going to rinse French farmers now? To be fair, if PSG need opponents, they could just collect 47-year-old shop assistants for a similar level of quality. And it's not just the French landscape that's being affected here, it's the bigger picture. You can call me Kim Jong-un, because when I saw all this news, my heart stopped. Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, seeing this news of the French league being cancelled and presumably PSG not winning the title, I was, as they say on the street, shitting it. Now, I'll run you through the chain of events if this was to happen and Liverpool weren't to win the league. Number 1, I'd end my entire existence. But thankfully that may not be the case, because as of about 20 minutes before I started recording this video, the French FA have announced that Paris Saint-Germain will be crowned champions. I think it's going to go on a points per game basis, which sees PSG win the league overall. Realistically, they could give PSG the league this season, next season, the season after that, the season after that. It does, however, see Toulouse relegated from the same league, and their owner's already said he's going to sue them. But we can forget about that because hopefully it means Liverpool win the league. Let's move on. It again raises the question of whether it's fair, but I suppose if the health and safety of everyone at the clubs is going to be put into question and a season can't be restarted, then maybe it should be decided on a points per game basis. I still think this season matters more than next season, but that's just me. Anyway, regardless, let's look at the positives here, okay? The French league's over, the coaches, the players can now go and spend some time with their loved ones. Neymar, for example, can, spend some quality time with his new stepdad. Neymar's mother dumps 23-year-old toy boy after discovering he had dated a string of men. Just what's this family, fam? Why do they want to be in my videos? Or it's been like 6 minutes since they officially got together. There's primary school lunchtime relationships that have lasted longer than this one. Apparently, this Thiago Ramos guy dated Neymar's personal chef and this Brazilian actor called Carlinhos Maia. So let me get this straight, yeah? It's not because you double the age of Thiago. It's not because he's younger than your own son. It's not because you've Benjamin Buttoned the entire family. It's because he's on both sides of the fence. It's because he likes some spicy chorizo. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Wait until she finds out what Neymar's been doing with his sister. Then she's really gonna kick off. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this issue. I'm basically OK Magazine these days. This whole script's getting written down for yet another episode of how I piped my mother. I just find it mad that it's already gone down the pan. This whole story's got more ups and downs than Virgin Media Wi-Fi, which is ironic considering all they're doing is just each other. If we're being honest, the whole dating a string of men thing's just an excuse. In reality, she just saw his TikTok. So what happens from here? I don't know. And honestly, I don't care anymore. Maybe, just maybe, they can start acting normally. That's probably the funniest thing I've said in this episode. Now, over in the Netherlands, it's a similar story because the Dutch Eredivisie has been cancelled. Now, in contrast to the French league, the season has been voided. It means that league leaders Ajax won't be crowned champions and that Alan Pardew's ADO Den Haag won't be relegated. So you're telling me, despite being 7 points from safety, they've survived relegation?
He's done it! Absolutely incredible!
Alan Pardew leaves ADO Den Haag by mutual consent. For goodness sake, man. Is there no good news anymore? As long as he doesn't end up back on Match of the Day, I think we're all safe. At least one league could end up being back. The Bundesliga could be returning. However, the original date has been pushed back by a week to May 16th. To be honest, I blame it all on Robert Lewandowski for this monstrosity. ask me how that's caused it, but trust me, it has. At Kira_Walsh loves to score a screamer. If we're honest here, it's more of a slight murmur. It's a whisper at best. Questions have got to be asked of the goalkeeper, surely. What have you been putting on your gloves? Butter? Now, the tub said I can't believe it's not butter on. I don't know what's going on. What's wrong with Arsenal forward Nicola Pepe is keeping himself entertained by pranking his flatmates? Sorry, I said pranking. I meant assaulting. At El Kens here conducted a poll on Twitter this week. It was like a Twitter poll knockout tournament for who's the best player, I think outside of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League. And the final came down to Everton's Richarlison and Newcastle winger Alan Saint-Maximin. Richarlison found this poll and replied to it with a picture of himself fending off Alan Saint-Maximin to sort of show he was the better player. Or at least he thought it was Alan Saint-Maximin. It was actually Ghanaian winger Christian Atsu. Saint-Maximin noticed, obviously, and replied with a picture of himself, in inverted commas, with Richarlison. I can't blame Alan for getting this wrong. You know, the likeness is uncanny. Roberto Firmino's been practicing his no-look finishes in his garden. These are his first goals at home this season. Tottenham's official Twitter account is going back through some of their greatest moments in North London derbies. This is given that this week would have marked the first ever North London derby at the new White Hart Lane. Now, that's all well and good. They tweeted about it, but Arsenal quote retweeted with a picture of Thierry Henry marking the anniversary to which Arsenal won the league at the old White Hart Lane. It's sneaky, it's stealth-like, but it's a shithousery award for Arsenal. Speaking of those two clubs, they've reopened their training grounds for players to come back and get some practice in before a potential restarting of the season happens. Obviously, it's on a rota system, so nobody comes into contact with anyone else. It means Spurs can return to the Enfield Training Centre. No, listen, Tanguy, that's A field, not Enfield. You can't go to the park again. What do you not understand about social distancing? But do you want an escape from how terrible life is right now? Well, why don't we take a look back down memory lane with FTW Rewind, taking a look at what was happening this week many years ago. Listen, lads, we'll get it out of the way. This time in 2014, Steven Gerrard may have lost his footing. Iago Aspas provided the worst corner of all time in the same game. Can we focus on that one instead? Gary Neville started feeling very sensual upon a goal from Fernando Torres in the Champions League. 17 years ago, John O'Shea managed to nutmeg Luis Figo. And back in the last decade, Wayne Rooney tried to pick up Rio Ferdinand using Twitter rather than an actual text message. To this day, we just still don't know whether Rio Ferdinand was ever picked up. He might just be stood on the side of a street still. Back in the present day, and UEFA have announced that Euro 2020 will still be named Euro 2020, even though it's happening in 2021. Well, at least Andre Gomez is keeping up his routine. Midway through an interview, England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford got an interruption from his own mum, and a lovely family photo of the Pogbas ended up becoming the African coffin meme. I don't really understand how they've done that. Now though, it is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where we take a look at Sunday League or amateur football, and this time it really captures both the lows and incredible highs of Sunday League. And you can already tell it's Sunday League by how bendy the crossbar is.
Oh! That's good. It's good. That's a keeper clearance, bro. That's good. Yeah.
A truly inspirational recovery. Elsewhere, there was a lot of issues for Virgin Media with being down Wi-Fi wise over the last few days. We got a tweet asking to explain why the Wi-Fi was down from Liam, who said it was a good job he wasn't playing pro clubs, otherwise it would have cost them the title. To which Virgin Media responded saying, you could use that excuse to mask not being very good, I suppose. 1v1 in your spare time, then we will see. Don't want to let you down twice in one day, mate. Oh my god, nah, call it off, fam. How have you been ended by an internet provider? Yeah, mate, so basically, aim for the cones. Yeah, could have done better there, not gonna lie. Over at Wycombe Wanderers, their manager Gareth Ainsworth was hosting the QPR Facebook quiz as a member of the band Kiss. There's absolutely nothing about this story I can explain. We just gotta move on. And finally, Watford have announced the signing of French youngster Papa Gay from the French second division. Now, the curious thing here isn't that they've managed to sign a player during a physical global pandemic. It's the fact that Gay's agent has today claimed that it, quote, doesn't change anything and that he could still sign for another club. I feel like that goes against the premise of signing for a club, though. The whole point is that you can't sign for anyone else, big man. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. As ever, I'm always open to feedback on this series, so feel free to let me know down in the comment section. You can also follow me on social media, though. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.